Hey guys, this is John Scarborough. This is kind of part two of a video I just did. So if you're just now seeing this video right here, go back to the other video and check it out. I'm going to leave a link in this video in the description. I'm not going to have it pop up on the screen because but I'm going to leave a link in the description. So go down in the description if you haven't watched that first video yet, and go watch that one first. This is a part two, okay? But if you've already watched it, then this is part two of the video about the free lease land that we're doing right now, okay? This is the pond that we were on, and we were about right in here when I first started talking. Well, probably actually more like in here somewhere when I first started talking, okay? On the video if you watched it before, okay? So like I said, this is about, I think it's about 12 acres, okay? So what we've done here, this is not a fence yet. We're not going to put that in yet. So right now they are here, and then this, no, I'm sorry. I messed up. Okay, no, I didn't. I was here, and I'm looking at my camera, and I'm looking at this over here. So excuse me, everybody. Okay, so this back here is the actual perimeter fence. This is the fence, the hot wire right here. We don't have anything up here yet. This is where we're going to put them up, okay? So not all of these fences are here, and all of these fences are not here right now. Currently, the only fences we have put up is this one, and this one, and then we have this one right here, and then this is where, and then this one goes all the way across the pond, okay? And then we have this one right here I was talking about in the video earlier. This one right here is the one with the PVC posts, okay? And then this one right here, we have a hot wire, if you'll look right here, that goes all the way across this fence. This is the other perimeter fence, and that is the only hot wire on this property, a permanent hot wire, okay? We talked about that in some previous videos, some other videos. You can go back and check all of those out as well, and see just how far we've come on this property, making it how it looks. You need to check all of those videos out, because it's pretty impressive how far we've come on this piece of property right here. Okay, so we power up right here to this, okay, and then we go all the way down here, and then we go around. We got posts that goes all the way around this PVC. So this powers up our pond right here, okay? Now we can take all this down if we need to, okay? Most of these, this is not where the landowner fishes, so most of these we're not worried about leaving up, okay? Everything back here, we want to make sure we can get all of this up, okay? So we can put a wire around here if we want to, or we can take it back up. So when cows are in any of these other pens over here, we will be pulling this up, pulling that up. So, no, we will be putting a fence there, excuse me, so that they can actually, so that the cows can't get in the pond. But then as soon as the cows are off of there, we'll be opening that back up, so, because the landowner is over here, okay? So if the landowner comes down and he wants to go fishing, then that's where he wants to go in this area, okay? So we'll try to leave those places. For the most part, we want to leave it to where he can actually fish out of those places, okay? Because we want it to be convenient to him. We don't want it to be an inconvenience. But also, all of these fences are set to a certain height where a person, if they wanted to, they can easily walk right over top of them, okay? They're just high enough to be a partition, okay? Because this is not a permanent fence. I mean, yeah, it's not a permanent fence, and it's not a perimeter fence. So your perimeter fences you want beefed up. You want to make sure nothing can get through them, okay? But you got to remember, these fences are not perimeter fences, so they're okay to be lower. I like to set mine to where I can step over them. And if I got a cow that jumps over that, I need to get rid of it. And that's just kind of how I do things, okay? So right now, like I said, we got this one. It goes around the edge of the pond. We do not have this one. We have this one, and then we have this one. And these are powered up as well, okay? So this and this has to be powered up because of this right now, because it's the only thing we have power to, okay? But this one right here, I can power up over here, and then anything around here For the most part, I can power up using this wire right here or coming off of my my permanent fence. Okay, so this system works pretty good. Right now, I have them in a really large area. This fence right here, and then they come around the pond, and then that fence. So they've got this whole area right here. They've got all of that. They've got access to it, okay? And that's because I've just put them in here. They know what hot wire is, but they're still a little new to it. But also I want to get a chance to see how long, kind of gauge this property for itself. How long are they going to be able to last on grass, and how often I need to move them. Once I don't start off making your animals tight. Figure out what they need and then start tightening them up, okay? Once you figure out what they need, you can scale it down as far as you want to go. You can move them a quarter a day, okay, if you want to. If you want to get out there that often and move them, okay? But do not start out moving them every quarter a day. And that's kind of what this diagram is right here. This is what it would look like in daily moves, okay? So you would set all these wires up, and you'd come through and let them through every now and then, and they still have access to the pond, and they would strip graze this right here. And this right here would help keep a lot of the weed pressure down and things like that, if I choose to do it that way, okay? But I'm not going to start off doing it that way, because I need to know what are their needs and how this particular property serves their needs, okay? Don't do that to yourself. If you go doing this right here, especially not somewhere close to you, you're going to end up with a train wreck, because you're going to start limiting your animals. You don't want to do that, especially for me being far away from me. So I've started off with this, get them used to everything, how it works, and then I'll move them into here, and I'll just have this fence and this fence up, okay? That once I can kind of gauge how this is, and then you can tell that's going to be a little bit smaller, okay? And then I'll move them in here, and then move them in here, and I'm thinking that these are going to be about weekly moves, okay? But I want to get an idea how each portion of the property, because it's all a little bit different. You can tell it's not perfectly central the way the pond is. It kind of sticks down in there. And then over in here, this is kind of the landowner's, I call it a minefield, just because he's got kind of junky stuff kind of around over here. He's got a barn, a little bit of junk around, and then just like an old trailer, a cattle trailer over here, and a couple little trailers here and there. And it's nothing that's going to hurt the cows. For the most part, if it was horses, I'd be worried about it, but cows are going to be fine out there. But there's a lot of little things out in there, and it's just not as good grazing. And then there's some pines right in here, so it's not as good grazing. And then all in here, this is mostly treed, and that's why I got all this right here, okay? This is mostly trees, and we got some good winter grass in there right now, but during the summer, it doesn't support grass very well. Okay, so what we're doing, we're going to start off with this big move, and then we're going to move to weekly moves all the way around there, because we're not even in full growing season yet. Okay, we have stopped feeding hay, but we're not in growing season just yet, to where we're just in good production yet. Okay, so that's why we kind of want to take it easy and see how it's going to go. We don't want to tighten them up yet. But by moving them in weekly moves, I can get an idea what this area is going to do. And then I can get an idea what this area is going to do and what this area is going to do. Okay? I may find that this area, this is a daily move. This spot right here. And then this spot may be the same. But then I may find that all of these areas, that this grows so well that I've got to tighten it up even more than that to make sure it's a good daily move, okay? But I can learn that by first introducing them to a 2 to 3 week move right here, which is not something I usually do. I don't usually leave cows on a place for that long, but sometimes I do, depending on how I'm trying to do it, okay? Just don't do it forever, okay? The main thing is you don't want cattle trails, and once you start getting cattle trails, it's a sign that they've been there long enough that they're starting to get they're starting to be around their parasites for too long. That's a pretty good gauge. Once they start to actually kill off that grass from the cattle trail. For the most part, I like to make sure I don't have any. I don't want to move them pretty often. But For some cases like this, like I said, this is a learning experience. You want to learn how this piece of property is going to work for them. These are stocker calves, and we want to put some gains on them. And when you're trying to grow cows with just grass, you really want to make sure you don't limit them. Okay, so this is kind of a learning curve for us. Okay, so put them in your big area and then start necking the areas down, closing them up a little bit more to a weekly move. And now I got data on each one of these. I can write on this right here, I can actually write down, okay, this was actually more like a 5-day. And then I can write this down. This was more like a 7-day, you know, and then go over here. This was a full 2 weeks. This was too much grass, you know. And I've got moves across there, okay? So now I've got data to work off of. So once I do turn it into daily moves, I've got an idea based off of where I was here. I've got an idea of just how tight I really need to be. Okay, so just work slow. You don't have to do this all at one time. If you're interested in moving your cows, I believe 100% in moving your cows often. And I really like the concept of mob grazing as a good tool, okay? But don't think that you got to rush into it and start doing it all at one time, okay? Work your way into it so you can learn each step one at a time. What works for you and what doesn't. Kind of like this down here. We decided that this needed to be a permanent fence, a semi-permanent fence, okay? And things like that. And then even this right here, we're going to leave these posts set up all along this whole end right here, but we're going to take the wire down because that kind of borders that edge over there. Okay, so the landowner can still get around it. Everywhere else, we're going to pull our post up, except for, well, there is one spot in here. We're going to leave these posts because it's just 4 posts along that area right there. We're going to leave those posts and just pull the wire up every time they're not in there. And that way, the landowner has full access to it, okay? So those are things you can kind of learn, where you want to throw a post in there that stays, where it needs to be a temporary post, you know, and just all sorts of little things like that, okay? So play with it. Work slow. Don't rush into any of this. If you work slow, then I guess a good example would be kind of like getting rich fast, okay? You get rich fast, you're going to fall fast, okay? The ones that get rich slow, and, you know, not that I'm promoting getting rich, you know, if you can get rich, go ahead, by all means. But the point is if you can, those who get rich fast usually fall fast. And everybody knows that a get rich fast scheme never works. So it's the same principle on stuff like this. Don't rush into it. Get into it slow. You do not have to be perfect all at one time, okay? So anyway, guys, I wanted to kind of show you all this, show you what we're doing. This is going to be kind of a wagon wheel setup. I got high hopes for it. I think it's going to work good. I'm really hoping that we don't have to bush hog that piece of property, simply because I don't own a bush hog. It's away from me. It's not connected to my property. It's 5 minutes away. And honestly, it's small enough that I'm not making just a lot of money off of it. So I'm trying to set it up in such a way that I don't have to put a lot of input into it. If I do have to bush hog it, I would like it to be a once a year thing and no more than that. So anyway, thanks everybody for listening to me. If y'all like this kind of content, subscribe to my channel. If you're already subscribed, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. And you know, interact a little bit. Put some comments in there. Let me know how you're liking these videos. Other stuff that you want to see in the future that would be helpful to you. You know, just say hi. Let me know what it is that, you know, why you're following our channel. Because we have all sorts of different things on our channel. So let me know what you're interested in personally. And if there's anything that I can help with, let me know that. And just kind of interact. But I'm asking everybody, I'm trying to grow my channel. I do use my channel for advertisement of our beef. We use it for advertisement of our microgreens, of our fire pits, our welding work. We use it for advertisement, okay? So I am trying to build my channel. I'm trying to get more subscribers. So I'm asking everybody, if you are watching these videos and you appreciate this, please subscribe to my channel. If you are already subscribed, I'm asking you to share the content, okay? And don't forget to like. Everything that you do helps my channel. So thanks, everybody, and I appreciate everybody that has already subscribed.